for this young Wolverine squad.
Gotta lay it all on the line, and what a great opportunity, like you said, for them to learn in real-time opportunities here, especially in the postseason. It's a different level. Games in March are different.
First meeting between these two teams right before New Year's was a 20-point win for the Trojans in Los Angeles. Silas Swords did not play, and the Wolverines feel like they have a solid chance here, but the lob inside goes to Kiki Iriafen, excellently executed.
Yeah, absolutely, and you saw the man-to-man defense there by Michigan. They're gonna try to mix it up just because of touches inside to Iriafen. With no help on that backside, it's gonna be tough.
Olsen to Swords in rhythm in the paint.
Connection of the dots on 1,000. You love to see the youngsters come out and make the initial play on offense with confidence.
Iriafen off one leg, igniting Michigan the other way. This team, 3 of their 4 top scorers are freshmen. There's one of them, Olivia Olsen, out of the Twin Cities, who has that knocked away.
Kiki Iriafen, look at her doing her work early in terms of holding her position. There's no weak side help defensively, so that's easy money in the paint. And then Silas Swords knifing her way to the rack for an easy deuce on the run. But you've got to take purposeful cuts. The ball loves energy, and it will find you if you cut hard.
5-guard lineup for the Wolverines. Coach Gottlieb says we have to be careful about those actions along the perimeter. Mila Holloway's long 2 doesn't go.
They didn't get a ball reversal on that offensive possession. They got to make USC work on the defensive end and get them in rotation and then attack it.
Jordan Hobbs, the senior, getting the assignment guarding the National Player of the Year contender in Watkins. Here's Rhea Marshall. Her first look is off target, and it will stay Trojan basketball. Talia Von Oelhoffen calls her own number. They'll get another chance.
Well, that's something Michigan cannot afford to do, is give them multiple opportunities to score it.
Watkins barreling through the paint will leave it to Marshall, who dunks it down.
It's the deceleration of that straight line drive by Juju Watkins that got that spacing.
Tough take by Holloway, that's left short. And the Trojans control. Watkins was calling for it on that side of the floor, now being guarded by the freshman Holloway. It's inside, Iriafen, a strong take, cleaning up her own miss. Good ball movement by the Trojans. The freshman, Kennedy Smith, will miss there.
She could make that shot. She just overshot it, obviously, probably just a lot of excitement right now.
Leading the Michigan Wolverines in her 13th season, Kim Barnes-Orico this season surpassed John Beilein for the most wins in Michigan basketball history. 4 straight 20-win seasons. This is a team that not many people thought they would see here in Indianapolis on semifinals Saturday. Some roster turnover depending on youth for the majority of their production says a lot about the culture and character of this program.
Yeah, no question about it. Kim Barnes-Orico, she knows who she has with her. And these young players, 3 McDonald's All-Americans for the first time ever on her roster with these 3 freshmen. She has winners.
Swords gonna drop it off to Olsen. It's knocked away. And off with the Wolverines. Lindsey Gottlieb, the Big Ten Coach of the Year, the first for USC to win that honor since Marianne Stanley in 92-93. Taking this program to heights it has not seen in decades.
Yeah, that's when Lisa Leslie was part of this Trojan legacy. The Mount Rushmore of greats that have worn that jersey, like Cheryl Miller, Tina Thompson, Cynthia Cooper, the McGee twins, Pam and Paula. Listen, those bloodlines run deep.
More action between Olsen and Swords. That time Swords, the Canadian Olympian, stopped at the rim. Watkins now pushing the other way. She had it knocked away on the other side, facing stout defense by the undersized Holloway.
Yeah, but that's on the outside, but on the inside, Holloway is gonna bring it. Didn't let Juju Watkins body her up and get that baseline that she was craving to attack there. Just got her foot on that baseline and turned her back the other way. Stout defense, to say the least.
The Wolverines have missed their last 4 shots after knocking down their first look. 10 seconds to shoot for Olsen, who plays 1 through 4, attacks right at Smith, and Smith stands her ground. They both go crashing.
Yeah, 2 freshmen challenging one another. Iron sharpening iron, if you will, on that.
Watkins, the hesitation, and then to the cup.
Man, she just lulls you to sleep, and then she puts you to night-night. I mean, my goodness. The slow walker move to the rim like that, it's tough to guard because you're in a frenzy defensively trying to stop her, and she just slows you down and sizes you up.
Holloway dishing it underneath, soars, earns the three-point play.
These young, fearless freshmen for the Michigan Wolverines. Holloway connects the dots downstairs. Silas soars, says, and one, son. And then right here, Juju Watkins denied that baseline. Right there, just really great defense by Holloway. And then she said, let me try that again. For good measure, let me get that second line of defense under attack and put pressure on the rim and finish. Juju Watkins is cut from a different cloth.
Michigan has not scored in about 4 minutes at this point, but Silas Swords, talk about these fearless freshmen, that's a great way to put it. Second team all Big Ten. You can make an argument for any of these 3 teammates to have been the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. The coaches selected Olivia Olson alongside Ohio State Jelani Cambridge, who we will see after this game.
Yeah, 9 20-point games for Olivia Olson this season. I mean, she has been a reliable force of offensive production for the Wolverines for sure. Look at the defense by Hobbs, though.
And a travel is called. It's interesting to point out, too, Watkins facing multiple defenders so far.
Yeah, and that's nothing new for her, I'm sure, at every level. AAU, high school, all of it. But right here, look at this defense. It was a hard hedge coming up right here by Hobbs. Watch, she's gonna turn Juju Watkins and make her pick it up. That was just fabulous rotational defense. And on a string is the Michigan Wolverines there.
The give and go, Olsen is able to sneak it past Watkins. She'll be shooting 2.
Well, that's why you have to have your head on a swivel. And the best way to guard a backdoor cut is to move your head first, and then the rest of your body will go. But if you don't do that, you're gonna be a beat late just like that. If you turn your head, your body has to follow. But that's why your awareness has to be quick. Everyone thinks speed is from point A to point B. No, it's your awareness. You're thinking quickly. Your awareness has to be the speed that you possess in actions like that.
That was Watkins' first personal. Watkins back-to-back 30-point games. Hers yesterday in the quarterfinals was a double-double as well, her 7th of the season. Also had 10 rebounds. And I loved her joking at the desk with our friends where she said, you know, Rhea coming back, I think I might have to sacrifice some of those rebounds, but it's okay. We'll take her back on the court.
And blocks. I mean, our very own Autumn Johnson named her Juju Swatkins, and I mean, she had 8 blocks a couple of games ago. And she's just a phenomenon. She wants to get in where she fits in, but I tell you what, she's not a loud scorer, even though her stat line was gaudy. She didn't do it out of rhythm. There's nothing forced about the back-to-back 30-point performances by Juju Watkins.
Watkins dropping it down inside. That's going to be a traveling violation. Clarice Akunwafo will turn it over. We are... Basketball on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. By TIAA and by Discover. This Michigan Wolverines team winning 2 games here in Indianapolis and feeling ultra confident, and they're bringing that confidence on the defensive end against Watkins.
Well, Michigan, one of the best defensive teams in the Big Ten. Look at Hobbs right there, jumping, hard hedging, and then a charge was called. Juju Watkins doesn't have many choices offensively. They're trying to make her pick it up and become a playmaker or turn the ball over, and they have crowded up the line. So if I had a marker and drew a line under the basket, that's exactly where Michigan is. On a string, up the line, there for help, and turning Juju Watkins back into the next line of defense. Nicely executed on that side of the ball so far by the Wolverines.
Coach Gottlieb says we watch film on teams, you have to throw it out because Juju will face something entirely different as the Wolverines stick with it multiple times on that possession and get an easy 2 to go up by 2.
Well, Michigan had a huge first quarter, and we're seeing the same kind of thing, right? They held Maryland to 6 points for a long time in the first quarter yesterday. And we're seeing that same kind of staunch defensive effort against USC right now.
That foul's going to go on Yulia Grabovskaya.
We'll take a look. There's that screen, hard hedge, but that time Juju attacked the hip and made contact. You have to be a legal guarding defender right there and be in a stance and be ready to show and then go. You can't stay too long in that hard hedge or Juju will expose you like that.
More great freshmen checking in for USC. Kaylee Heckel just with that first shot. Avery Howell, 10 points in her first start of the season now on the floor for USC. Another team with great depth, great young talents, just like Michigan.
Kim Rosarico has said that Holloway has been one of the best point guards she's ever coached, and she didn't have a great scoring game. Got in some foul trouble yesterday, but it is her impact on the court to organize. I mean, she had a ton of assists, set the table up for the team, and she had a bunch of rebounds, and she just got another one.
Both teams shooting under 30% at this point. Hobbs trying to get out into that. Olsen skying in for the rebound, can't follow it up. One more try, and Swords leading the way for this Michigan offense.
Well, it's easy to say, hey, you got to box out, but when things happen in a blink of an eye, where you have to think quickly yet again. Exactly what I was saying before.
That crossover from Watkins setting up Heckel, too strong. USC now, one of their last 8 from the floor. The Wolverines on an 8-0 run.
And they've done it with deliberate efforts on the defensive side, and now Swords trying to put pressure on Juju.
Forced it inside, and she's now gonna reset. Watkins, we know what a great defender she is, getting one of the toughest assignments on this team, chasing Swords. Here is Hobbs slicing her way through, a miss at the rim.
Well, here's the transition, USC loves that.
Watkins will take it herself and not convert.
I thought Juju was gonna pass that off to the right side, try to cat and mouse it. But here she is trying to survey, hesitation, and then trying to pick up her speed, but just missed the angle off the window to finish that play.
USC now one of its last 9. They're shooting 21% overall. Michigan would be in a similar boat, but Silas Swords is 3 of 5.
Yeah, the rest of the Michigan team, 1 for 9 from the floor, so they've got to get things cracking on this side and get some fluidity going offensively.
Wilson contorting, missing in the paint. Did a whistle. He's going to send it the other way on that loose ball.
I think it was on the box out, a little displacement going on underneath.
It's going to be the second on Yulia Graboskaya.
We'll take a look on the right side of the screen. The displacement, the extension in the back. Not so much, but it was something.
Marshall back into the game, did not play in the quarterfinals due to illness. Here is Howell letting it fly and sinking a 3, the first today for the Trojans.
Yeah, that's what they need. The extra passes because of the way Michigan is packing the paint. Get that swing ability and give that good shot up for the great shot from the outside.
Graboskaya trying to use her size against Marshall. 4-time all defense, and the freshman goes to work.
Yeah, I like that. You need to over-execute, just simply put the basketball up. When you catch it that deep into the paint, you gotta keep it high and finish.
Von Olhoffen working in the post, is in trouble. And then she fouls Brooke Quarles-Daniels, who is such a pest flying around defensively, really embracing that role to cause havoc.
And take a look. Look at that post position inside by Graboskaya, and she's gonna just bring you middle and then take you back baseline and finish. A little dream shake right there. I love it. Post play, bring it back. You got a lot of unicorns running around. I love a lot, but I love a good post move down there. Make them work.
Go back to the baskets.
Yeah.
Enough unicorns.
Have some fun with that.
Under a minute to play here in the first quarter. Swords looking to get hot for the Wolverines. That's not going to count. The 3rd foul on Graboskaya here just in the first quarter.
And Michigan doesn't possess a ton of size on the inside, so that may be impactful as this game continues to unfold. But Silas Swords was upset because she made that shot, and that would have been a good momentum swinger to close the first quarter.
About 9 seconds separating shot and game clock. USC shooting 27% as a team. Watkins 2 points, 1 for 3 shooting, asking for it in the post against Swords.
Get some screening action going.
Powell will pull up from long 2 range, gets her miss right back. Such an energy giver for this Trojan team. In the corner, it is Smith for 3. She's got it.
Good patience right there after that offensive rebound.
Swords, the final shot, gets it to fall at the buzzer. That's the kind of freshman
in this tournament. I mean, yesterday, holding Maryland to just 6 points, and they only shot 23%, Maryland did. So the difference is Michigan shot 69% after that first quarter. They're not knocking in the same shots that they were yesterday in the game against the Terps.
Got a Camp Schrader scoring on the other side. And the rest of the Wolverines, not named Silas Swords, 3 of 12. Here's Uriah Fenn trying to get her offense going. The mid-range so smooth for her.
Yeah, right in that short corner, dunker spot, pinch post, whatever you want to call it. A couple steps off that lane line. She is fierce with that, right? Nice soft touch. Catch and shoot is quick. Great footwork, and they know where to find her and when to find her there.
A threat from so many parts of the floor. Same goes for Swords, who brings it back, then has it blocked by Smith. But a foul is called.
And Silas Swords got right into the body, and Kim Barnes-Arico was showing her hands to the ceiling, wondering what the extracurricular contact was.
That's going to go on Smith, her first.
Looks like Silas Swords is tying her shoe there. We get reset. And the out of bounds underneath.
Hobbs taking it out a minute into this second quarter. Winner moves on to the Big Ten championship game. Swords leaves that one way short. And then gets back into the play to deflect it.
Got back on her horse and sprinted down the floor. Her first 3 steps had some traction on it, you hear me? And got that hand up in the passing lane and just disrupted the offensive flow in the open court.
Watkins back to work on offense, guarded by the freshman Olivia Olson. Puts the moves on her, leaves it off target from long range too.
I love that matchup though. See Olson with some size, trying to flood that area of Juju Watkins when she puts it on the glass.
Then she goes right at Watkins herself. The spin move left short, ripped down by Watkins. And she's sprinting up the floor before she swarmed from behind. Brooke Daniels is a problem for opponents.
Stop, drop, and roll. Try to save that possession by any means necessary. Oh, I love that. I mean, the energy by Michigan is palpable on the defensive end. Look at this effort, trying to save the possession. Trying to get it. Look at her. She's like, I'm not going to give up on that play. Oh, look at her face. She's like, I tried it. And that's what you want. You want to see your players squeeze every bit of juice out of that orange when they're trying to get a 50-50 ball.
Tracked down by Kennedy Smith in another possession for USC. 2-player game between Watkins and Uriah Fenn. And Watkins will pick up her second with that offensive foul.
Well, that's exactly what Lindsay Gottlieb was talking about, right? Michigan is coming with a hard hedge. And then Juju has to understand that she can't go that way right now, but she's got 2 on her. So whoever they were coming off of defensively there, you got to slip. There's got to be an immediacy to the slip to relieve her from that hard hedge and blitz. The fans love it.
Watkins 2 points, 2 fouls right now. 1 of 4 shooting, does have 4 rebounds. Here's Camp Schrader, leaving it short from long range. Olson, all-out effort into the USC bench, but puts on the brakes. Let's check in the lease on more on those fouls on Juju right now.
Yeah, the 2 fouls, so she's going to have to take a rest right now, but I doubt it's going to be for long. Last year at Stanford, when she put up 51 points, she had 2 fouls in the first quarter, and even as a freshman, Lindsay Gottlieb talked about the fact that she trusts her to make really good decisions and to keep her hands off, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Juju in here pretty quickly.
That's a great point, Elise. She said Juju's body control is also so elite that's also part of the reason why she trusts her so much.
Absolutely, but Michigan's defense right now is speeding up those decisions. And she's got to be able to read those hard hedges. and make passes out of those off the short roll up top.
The high post, Area Fenn puts it on the deck, uses her muscle to the rim.
Oh, that was just beautifully and poetically executed by Area Fenn. Stayed connected on the seal. Tremendous footwork. Watch right here. Coming right back, splitting the wickets defensively that Michigan presents up that line. They're packing that paint, and Area Fenn said, I can still score no matter what you bring defensively my way. And here's a horn set by Michigan with the elbow entry. They like to do this and get a double stagger away. Olsen rejected the double stagger.
Hobbs gets downhill, untouched to the rim.
And that's what those horn sets present for you, right? Spacing to attack the painted area. And Hobbs, the reliability of her presence has been great.
The steal and the finish by Olsen. The Wolverines rolling against the #1 seed.
It's been all about the defense by Michigan, making shots difficult.
And rebounding too, limiting those opportunities by the Trojans.
One shot or no shot. That's the best kind of defense. It looked like a little travel there by Hobbs.
Hobbs tried to go behind the back, and a foul will be called. Looks like on Area Fenn.
But Michigan, they have brought all the smoke on the defensive end. Look, on the offensive side, Hobbs finds a crease of light to attack downhill and finish at the cup. And then look right here, Olivia Olsen, free and easy money on the other side after that steal.
Watkins back on the floor. Elise was right. Not a long time spent on the bench with her 2 personal fouls here in the second quarter.
And you just had to give her a breath, let her recalibrate, get herself back out on the floor, and understand the assignment that she has for this game. It may be different for other games, but the way Michigan is playing, especially her in the pick and roll actions, she's got to be able to read and make passes and plays out of that.
Cam Schrader being guarded by the 5. Tries to work around Marshall. She's immovable. Will not hit.
And Marshall's presence, they missed her yesterday, but she's another obviously reliable defender in there. Multiple blocks this season.
Now 7 turnovers for the Trojans in this first half alone. Hobbs is going to put it up from 3 and drain it. Now 8 Michigan points off of those turnovers. Here's Watkins. And Area Fenn. Second effort, barely touched the ground.
Yeah, she had to. That second jump by Area Fenn was quality. And that's why she was able to get it and put it right up without any distractions or disruptions. Ooh, it's almost a walk. It's a knee-jerk reaction when I see that. It looked like she just dragged that toe.
Hobbs wants another, and she's got it! Don't say the Wolverines with their youth are not ready for this moment, stepping up against USC. Here is Watkins bulldozing through. She's now 1 of 6 and has 2 points.
Well, Jordan Hobbs has been absolutely blistering the nets. 4 of 9 from 3 in their last game. Look at the bench is up saying she's on a heater. She's on a heater.
Another steal taken by Swords. Poked away by Smith. She crashes into the band. She's helped up by a cheerleader. Looks like she's okay. Did not completely go to the ground, but what effort we're seeing on both sides. Michigan leading 27-18. We're gonna be back in just a couple of days for the 2025 TIAA Big Ten Men's Basketball Tournament, live from Indianapolis, Thursday and Friday on Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Moments ago, Michigan's Kim Barnes-Arico was talking to our Elise Woodward.
Coach, your defense is locked down, USC. How have you done it?
I think we're just playing for each other. I think we're helping each other. We're taking away gaps. We're recognizing, and we're trying to rebound. I mean, they've scored on offensive boards, but we're trying to hold them to 1. I mean, that's the game plan.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, 8 offensive rebounds right now by USC, and they've been able to score 7 points off of those. So it's really tough because things happen so quickly in there. And I coached for a long time, and I know I said box out, but I also played, and I know how tough that is. It's not your intent to miss box outs. Sometimes things happen so quickly that you can't get in position. But they've got to take that away from USC for sure.
Samuels with this strip. She was about to be buried in the paint by Olivia Olsen. What a crafty play by an undersized player, and it leads to a 3 for Kennedy Smith. Let's see how the Trojans come out of that timeout.
Kennedy Smith needed to come alive, missed her first triple from the opposite corner, but self-corrected and got that one to drop home.
Samuels again picks up the loose ball, sprints down the floor. Back to Michigan basketball.
Yeah, she heard those footsteps coming, and then didn't really have a proper angle to get to the rack either, to get it on the window. Let's see what Michigan has here. Like to run a 5-out. Everybody in full motion, trying to get USC in rotation here.
And they're bringing Marshall and Iriafen out to the perimeter with this 5-guard lineup, allowing an opportunity at the rim for Holloway. USC takes over.
That was really lucky that Juju Watkins didn't get whistled for her 3rd foul there. You can tell they put her right in the action where Holloway can get downhill on her.
Marshall steadies herself with the power dribble, up and in that easily. And a timeout called by Coach Barnes-Orico. USC looking like it found some life after that timeout.
Yeah, they did. They got right into the paint, but wow, it could have been a 3rd foul on Juju Watkins, although there was no whistle and no 3rd foul. But right there, Holloway attacked that hip and got downhill. Ooh, lucky. And then on the other side, with that dime down inside to Marshall, a little body bump to create the space necessary to get the proper angle to finish in there.
5-0 spurred after that last timeout. And USC is within 4 at this point here late in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be something that Michigan understands. You heard Kim Barnes-Orico say, hey, we got to take the second chance points away, but you also have to take away that paint. And Michigan had done a good job with that. Actually, Michigan has a +6 advantage in paint points, 16-10. But those second chance opportunities, 7 of those 10 are from offensive boards.
Now full court pressure from USC. They have their center Marshall at the top of the press. She's applauding that effort, leading to a turnover.
As a player who played at the top of the press.
Impressive.
No, wait. My lungs didn't think so a couple times because, wow, we run and I played the post. But anyway, I was glad when the ball got turned over on the back end of that, right? Because what you want to do is slow them down and have them speed up once they get into the quarter court, and that's exactly what happened on that turnover.
Watkins, 2 points, 1 of 6 shooting. She's swarmed every time she touches the ball, looking for an assist. And the offensive rebound on the weak side by Iriafen. She's going to take it herself. The mid-range doesn't go. And snared by Olsen, trying to fight off Samuels. A little extra physicality. And there'll be a jump ball, keeping it right here.
And this is real time. They're on that type of time right now. And you see Olsen saying, hey, she pushed me after the whistle. Physicality is on 1,000 right now, top tier. Look, rebound, corralled in by Olsen, and then there's a little extracurricular situation.
The team comes, Samuels will take off, then cough it up. Sprinting down the floor, Corals Daniels looking for any teammates. He's gonna take it right back into the paint, but it's rejected by Marshall. Samuels grimacing as she went down. It is a jump ball.
Anyway, she went right down on that elbow, and she was trying to get back into the play. I mean, Michigan had offensive numbers. And then she was behind Corals Daniels on that one. Got tangled up. Here it is right here. You see Samuels trying to go up for that rebound, and then right there you see the extra force, and she just fell right on her back.
She checks out. Avery Howell will come in for the Trojans. Grabowski with her 3 personals is into the game. Smooth move by Silas Swords.
Man, she's so good. I love the confidence that she plays with. A lot of international experience as well in the Paris Olympics.
Howell no good for 3. You watch her play, you see someone capable of being an Olympian at 18 years old for Team Canada. Who's being guarded by Watkins.
You can't equate that to anything. Experience is the best teacher, especially the international level of experience when you're playing against 20 and 30-plus-year-olds.
Quarles Daniels keeping it alive. Swords, the blow by, but the block by Marshall. There's going to be a whistle. The Wolverines were getting the Trojans all out of sorts.
Yeah, Marshall got turned around initially, and then she was out of position, and that left hand bumped into her back and displaced her with the body. The airborne shooter has to be protected, and that time Marshall got into that body for the infraction.
Swords numbers today, 50% shooting, now 13 points as Michigan leads. Later tonight, the 2025 Big Ten Wrestling Championships continue with the semifinals. Tomorrow is the championship round, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Exclusive additional coverage streaming live on Big Ten Plus.
I mean, the fact that Silas Swords got Big Ten Freshman of the Week the first week of the season and hasn't let up at all speaks to who she is for Michigan.
Reagan Marshall with little space lays it in.
She just is so quick when she maneuvers down inside on that block. Michigan trying to free up some space with some back screens here. Back screens to ball screens.
Alms trying to take Marshall one-on-one, falling away. Grabowskaia gets a piece and snared by Watkins, her 5th rebound. He's got a mismatch here. He's going to pull up in transition. That's no good, and she's 1 of 7 from the floor.
She just looks frustrated right there. Trying to do a by any means necessary attempt to score and elevate her team. Look at 1 of 7, as you said. Averaging 24 on average, just 2 today so far. And she's missed her last 5.
In the quarterfinals, 31 points, 10 rebounds. Maybe that will get her going. The face up and long, too.
Is there a microphone on this thing? Is that across the arena? But no, you could tell she wanted that last shot that she missed, so self-corrected that flick of the wrist.
Kennedy Smith, a tenacious defender, swoops into the lane. She is fouled.
That 1-2 sidestep, the Euro action right there. Love to see it.
Coming up at the half, we're going to send it across the court here at Gainbridge to Ashley Shimmy, Autumn, and Lisa Bluter for the State Farm halftime reports.
I love having Lisa Bluter on the desk. The wealth of knowledge she is, in addition to our family of broadcasters over here.
The number of people who have nearly 900 career wins in this sport, that's special.
Amazing. In her words, beautiful.
Smith, the second free throw is good. She's someone capable of sparking this team with her defense, just like this press with Marshall and Watkins involved as well. Holloway gets it over to Swords.
Yeah, it was a 1-2-2 yet again by USC, and a turnover on the back end of it yet again.
That could have been an easy 2, but through the hands of Grabowskaia. It's now 8 turnovers for the Wolverines.
Well, once you break that press, you have to come down in the quarter court and reorganize, right? You've broken the press. You're not still in your press O, so you have to settle in to what you want to get and where your point of attack is in the quarter court, and not have that press or the thought of that press speed up your intentionality and discipline.
Watkins coming off her second bucket of this game. Evaluating Swords, her defender, will take it beyond the 3-point line. That's no good. All-out effort from Smith again. Doesn't crash this time, but still off the court, battling for a loose ball.
Juju trying with that jab step to create space. Silas Swords is staying right with her, so she tries to step back and go for that triple, and on the walk back up the court, you can see Juju Watkins tapping her temples, like trying to get herself recalibrated mentally and back on track offensively.
10 seconds to shoot in the first half. In the hands of Swords, creating separation from Uriah Fenn. That caroms off. 3 seconds left for Smith, who will heave at half court. Touches rim, but USC will trail at the half for just the second time this season. It also happened in their loss against Notre Dame. It is third.
I mean, you're talking about Juju Watkins, who averages 24 points per contest, sitting at 4 after 2 quarters of this game. So they got to find ways to free her, and it can't just be pick and roll. Maybe get her off the ball a little bit and get her coming off of those screens instead of being in the pick and roll actions with the ball.
Libby Olsen confidently into the paint, drops it through.
Yeah, let's not forget that Von Oelhoffen for USC, she only played 5 minutes. She was 0 for 1 from the floor, and she has 2 fouls, and that makes it tough as well. They need everyone on board.
Watkins gets the friendly roll. She's now 3 of 10 from the floor. Also did have 5 rebounds with the steal. Smith going up with it through contact, and she will be shooting too. She is someone who can ignite some scoring for this team with her defense.
Speaking of someone igniting the offense, Juju Watkins trying to come alive right now. 8th game being held under 10 points in the first half. Engines are revving. You can almost feel it in her. And she's so calm and composed. She's not going to show a ton of emotion, so when she does, it's pretty impressive to see that. But you know she possesses a fire in the belly.
Let's send it over to Elise.
Well, guys, just the 3rd and 4th free throw attempt of the game for USC. Juju has yet to get to the line. She is one of the leaders in the nation at getting to the foul line, and so far Michigan's done a great job keeping USC and Juju from getting there.
Absolutely. I mean, they're playing that pack line defense, packing that paint, hard hedging, taking gaps and angles away. It's hard to get to the free throw line if you can't get into the paint.
3 seconds to shoot. Cam Schrader gets the mid-range to fall. Michigan going deep in the shot clock, making it look beautiful.
Yeah, you have to, and that's what they needed. I thought in that second quarter they got sped up a little bit with USC's press. Look at the double team blitz. Somebody's open. You got to cut hard.
Maria Fenn backing down Hobbs. She'll kick it out. Von Oelhoffen thought about it. She'll go inside to Marshall, and she is fouled on the attempt.
They need Von Oelhoffen on the court, and not just for her ability to score the basketball, but as a table setter, right? She's an initiator of offense and a floor spacer because of her ability to knock in the 3.
That's the first on Camp Schrader. Coming up, the TIAA Big Ten Women's Basketball Tournament semifinals continue. Ohio State taking on UCLA. The Bruins walking out to their bus, supported by the band. Corey Close is such a cheerleader herself for her program, for women's basketball, for everyone surrounding the program. I'm surprised to see her getting in the action.
And listen, Corey Close had me fired up yesterday. Talking to her before the game. I mean, she is always an encourager of hope.
Holloway lines up a 3. She's got it. Michigan looking undaunted to start the second half.
Yeah, they all have this stoic, competitive fire in their eyes right now, and USC is taking the full force of that.
Marshall calming things down in the paint. A simple little hook shot.
And those paint points, I think those are going to be at a premium. Michigan actually outscoring USC 22-14 in the painted area. Even after that bucket by Marshall.
10 to shoot for the Wolverines. Silas Swords facing a lot of bodies. She'll try and get into the paint. Camp Schrader, the fake on Marshall, and gets to the rim.
Well, she can change directions in a short space. Didn't have a lot of time, but she got it high off the window for that deuce.
Bodies falling. Iria Fenn kisses it off glass.
Iria Fenn has been tough. In that first half, she had 8.6 boards. 4 of her rebounds were on the offensive glass. And those second chance points, we saw USC with that advantage inside as well, 9-6.
Iria Fenn with 10, almost a steal just out of the reach of Watkins. She's trying to catch up against Swords. Cuts off the angle, but Swords takes it up anyway.
She will not be denied. This young freshman is fierce with her attack mode mentality, even against one of the nation's best in Juju Watkins defensively.
Smith goes behind the back, awkward angle. She's fouled by Hobbs. Take a look at our Good Hands play sponsored by Allstate.
Look at Holloway right there reading the double team. And then finding her spot right there. That was very sweet. Snapping the nets. And then Cam Schrader right here. Ooh, the up and under. Moving away from Marshall defensively. And high fives all around for the fans of the Wolverines.
Michigan racking up some fouls here in the second half. They had 4 fouls in the first 20 minutes, 3 here through the first 4 minutes of the third. And Smith upsetting herself. She's now 2 of 5 from the free throw line.
She's usually over 80% from the line as a freshman. Missed a handful of games early this season with a leg injury. Has really been a complimentary player on both sides of the ball for the Trojans.
Coach Gottlieb says the best freshman defender I've ever seen. USC has 2 of the 5 all-defensive team. Look for her to be on that list in the future.
Yeah, 2-2-1 right there by USC. And then another steal in the back of their press.
Area Fenn picks it up. Watkins now up against Cam Schrader. Will step through and finish for 2.
A little two-step, Sierra style right there. Juju Watkins showing her ability and strength to muscle her way to the cup.
We talked about in the open how many ways she is capable of scoring. She also has that power in her game.
Man, she's a toughie.
Hobbs will not get the and one, but an aggressive take. She's fouled on the deck.
Third foul there by Juju Watkins, which is incredibly critical because she can do this offensively, and you need that little hesitation move right there. 1, 2, just hard in the mud steps, pop, pop. She's so strong and fierce with her attack game, and that's almost 3 fouls. That's why that hurts so much for Lindsay Gottlieb, and I think she has somebody at the table, and I'm not sure if she's going to come in for Juju or not. I mean, there is that trust factor. We were talking about that earlier when she picked up her second foul. Yep.
So she is going to go to the bench right now. And that happened in the first half. It was quite brief. Now going out about 5:45 left on the clock. She's got 8 points, 4 of 11 shooting. Heckle gets herself into the paint, gets herself into trouble. It's a jump ball, and we'll go the other way.
Well, Heckle right there made a really solid read. Instead of going off the double drag at the top, those 2 screens that were right there, she was supposed to maybe come off of that and use that ball screen and maybe get one of them to slip off. She rejected that screen. Holloway tumbled and stumbled there defensively.
We'll see what USC can summon, at least for now. Juju Watkins on the bench with 3 personal fouls midway through the third quarter. Holloway, the step back, that's left short. Olivia Olson, all-out effort to try and track it down, but it will be USC ball.
Well, lay it all on the line. That's what I'd love to see. Hey, no regrets out here. No mercy and no regrets. That's March basketball. You gotta want it, and the only way you want it is if you love it. Play the game with passion.
Area Fenn, one-on-one in the post. An offensive foul, the second drawn by Jordan Hobbs, who read it all the way.
Well, Hobbs must have watched a lot of film in that KYP situation. Know your personnel? Well, she knew that Kiki Area Fenn was going to come middle, and she was standing right there up the line to take the hit in a stance. Nicely executed defensively by Hobbs.
Watkins has 3, Area Fenn has 2, and another one coming up here on USC as we step aside. Michigan leading 44-39, playing confidently here in the Big Ten semi. All postseason long at B1GWB Ball on X and at B1GWBB on YouTube and Instagram chronicle the drive to a championship with deep exclusive access to the best highlights, features, and so much more. All those celebrations behind the scenes. It is the postseason. It is March. you will not want to miss out. Well, both these teams playing in the Big Ten semifinals. And for USC, they are seeking their second straight conference tournament, trying to become the third team ever to win back-to-back in two different conferences, along with UConn and Notre Dame. Michigan has never appeared in a Big Ten championship game, and they have been in this contest since the event began 31 years ago.
Yeah.
Let's check in with Elise listening in on that last USC huddle.
Yeah, Lindsay Gottlieb just reminding her team, hey, the play that we call, we have to trust it, run it, don't try to break it off, make sure that we just trust the offense. And then Beth Burns, the associate head coach in charge of defense, reminding her team, we have got to pressure, make them uncomfortable.
Samuels for three there. That might ignite this team past the midway point of this third quarter.
Yeah, you just have to stay steady, right? And you see Juju Watkins back on the floor, and you just have to be smart. And you know they're going to probably put her in some actions to challenge her defensive discipline and her gap discipline here.
Pick, pop, the three will rim out for Silas Swords.
Let's see if they can get Juju Watkins off the ball and see how Michigan reacts to those ball screens without her being the one with the basketball.
Iria Fenn into the lane. It's a blocking foul. That was a hard hit. And that will go on Olsen, her first.
Body's hitting the deck. Right here, the pass downstairs to Iria Fenn. Just crashes to the ground off of that pick and roll.
Watkins off the curl, the quick closeout. She still gets it off. Smith can't keep it alive, and it will stay here.
Juju Watkins just emphatically clapped her hands right there. You can sense the frustration. I mean, she's getting good shots. They love to run that entry pass to a DHO, a dribble handoff, pitch back, crack back action, and she couldn't get it to go.
Iria Fenn pounds her way in the paint, soft flex.
She has been the most efficient offensive player for USC, and maybe they just need to go through her offensively and put Juju on the same side and make Michigan make tough defensive decisions because of that.
12 points, 8 rebounds for Iria Fenn as Swords puts on the brakes, ripped down by Smith. She travels. Tough to see on an effort play like that. It will be Michigan basketball. And she's slow to get back to her feet.
Still looking like she's a little hobbled by some kind of pain there. And here's that last play, Smith opening up that door, but it was the rebound, and she fell right on that hip. Oh, and then Swords also fell on top of her after that. Winner of this game still has another game to play tomorrow. I mean, this is a highly physical game, as it should be in March, right? But, you know, that's what ice cubes in the bathtub are for. Or you go to cryo and get some masseuse work done as well. But, man, there have been so many plays that we've seen, Sloan, where bodies have been on the ground yet again. Here
right on cue. This time it's Brooke Quarles-Daniels. And another foul on the Michigan Wolverines. Grabovskaya is going to come in to relieve Jordan Hobbs. Coach Barnes-Arico has only gone 2 deep on her bench, but you would not think Michigan is the team that's playing its third game in 3 days here.
No, I mean, this Michigan team, they look like they're in great shape. And when I say that, I'm talking about mentally. Right, a lot of what happens in March is your mental capacity to push through. Your body's going to do what your mind tells it, and these young players are just ready to compete and win. And that's what Kim Barnes-Arico said after the game yesterday against Maryland. She said, you know, these young freshmen, they're not afraid of anything, and they're some of the best competitors I've ever coached, and not just with basketball. Off the court, they're the most competitive people, and that's what it takes in March. You gotta out-tough teams.
7-0 run for the Trojans. Olsen working herself in the paint has an answer.
She's so strong and effective.
Watkins fooling everyone, dropping the dime, and Iria
some holes in her pocket right there. Drew 2.5 defenders and just a swift pocket pass to the weak side for the deuce. 7 of the last 8 for USC.
10 to shoot for Swords and the Wolverines. 4 seconds left. Swords has to throw it up, and she is smothered by Smith as a jump ball and Trojan basketball.
Well, this is why we love March Madness, because the last sequence of events here in Indy, oh my goodness, the whirling dervish, Olsen, the snap. And then right there, what a dive to the weak side right there. Juju Watkins making plays for the squad. They've made 7 of their last 8 shots and picking up steam with their offensive effectiveness and efficiency.
Ariel Fenn loses it, fouled by Grabovskaya. That's going to be her 4th. Let's send it over to Elise.
Well, you guys, Kennedy Smith, you mentioned that she has hit the deck hard multiple times in this game. She got up after the last spill and tugged on her jersey and asked to come out of this game. You can see her there, you know, clearly emotional right now. She is in some pain. She is a tough competitor. Had the in-season knee surgery earlier this season and has come back to play a major role as a true freshman. And she said, I got to come out of this game. So hopefully she can take a breath, get tended to, and get back in there.
I hate to see that. And she did miss those games early in the season, back in the fall.
Almost a steal. USC seizing the momentum here, even with Smith off the floor. They got their first lead since it was 6-5 midway through the first quarter. And digging deep here against an extremely gritty Michigan team.
Yeah, 1-2-2 press by USC right there, and that has really paid dividends. And they've been able to score the ball.
Olsen bulldozes her way to the rim, and she's going to be shooting too. She wrapped up that ball like a running back.
Yeah, she did, and fell on the ground like a running back too after the contact. But here's Olivia Olsen getting downhill, cradling that baby. Yeah. Taking the hit.
It's the first on Samuels. Tomorrow, don't miss women's gymnastics when Olympian Jordan Childs and the Big Ten champion Bruins compete against Stanford. Live coverage begins at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. So you can see an Olympian here.
Right.
Silas Swords, you're watching her right now.
Okay.
And then with gymnastics as well.
Yeah, Jordan Childs, and I love it on International Women's Day, right? And look at that. So much momentum for every sport on the women's side right now, and you'd love to see the respect and the investments that are being made for women. Let's go. Lee fired up over here again. I love it.
1:30 to play. Here is Watkins putting it up from long range. She does not have a 3 today. 0 for 3 overall. Still sitting at 8 points.
It's been that defense, and then she's been trying to hunt her shots. And yesterday, you didn't really see that kind of offensive struggle from Juju with her 30 points that she was able to score.
Drags her foot, turns it over for Michigan. That is number 11. As they try and work out of this tie game. They had the lead at the half. Only the second time all season USC had trailed after the first 20 minutes. That also happened in their loss to Notre Dame back in November.
12 turnovers now for USC, 11 for Michigan. But USC's only been able to score 7 points off of those.
Defense has been really depending on the face-up game today. No good from the mid-range.
We have numbers right here. Samuels took a spill.
Holloway couldn't get the pass across. Watkins in the open floor is going to dish it out. Howell for 3. The rebound. There's a foul.
You can feel the energy and the momentum. I mean, this game is tied up. Juju Watkins knows it's all about possessions. So what does she do? Come flying in on that weak side with 2 high hands to corral that rebound on the weak side.
That's number 3 on Hobbs, who along with Camp Schrader has ushered in this new era of Michigan Wolverine basketball. They are the heart and the glue of this team. We talk about the freshmen, rightfully so, but Hobbs and Camp Schrader have an immense impact both on and off. It's going to be Camp Schrader coming into the game for Graboskaya, so it looks like Hobbs is staying in for the final 33 seconds with her 3 personals.
There's a lot of trust there, and Kim Barnes-Arico has said, you know, we had players leave, but the players who stayed want to go through the challenges of having young players on the team. She gives them a lot of respect and credit for that. She said, you stay and you become a champion. And they're right on track with that, stressing out this USC team, the #1 overall seed in the Big Ten tournament.
Erie Fenn cleans it up.
Like a janitor right there, right where she needed to be.
Swords in a troublesome spot. Up ahead to Camp Schrader. She is fouled, pushed out of bounds.
Kiki Iriafen, she is a magnet to the basketball watcher. She's on the strong side and just jumps over the back right there. And that's why you have to have solid positioning on those free throws. You have the inside spot. You got to hold your seal in front of her.
That's now 3 on Iriafen. Watkins also has 3. Van Olhoffen has 2. Smith with 2 as well. Camp Schrader good on the second. 20.7 seconds remaining as Corals, Daniels, and Graboskaya return to the game.
Smith is not on the bench right now for USC. Maybe she just headed back to the locker room already.
Van Olhoffen facing the pesky defense of Corals Daniels. Under 10 seconds to shoot.
They had Juju off the ball on this possession, but she hasn't touched it yet.
3 seconds for Howell over the screen. Not that time at the buzzer, and we head to the 4th quarter. Still a 1-possession game, but USC, the Big Ten.
It's going to be interesting to see the dynamics defensively that Ohio State can present to the Bruins. Lauren Betts with a huge double-double yesterday with those 28 points and multiple rebounds. 7 big blocks, 5 assists for Lauren Betts, who's also on the list to be the National Player of the Year along with Juju Watkins. And then they're having her off the ball. Now let's see if we get a touch. There she is.
Watkins strong along the baseline, would not be denied.
That's exactly why I said get her off the ball. Get her off the ball and now establish her down inside where she has a strength advantage.
Holloway lost the ball. Samuels is tripped up. She'll be shooting 2, and USC executing here in the second half.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Get Juju Watkins off the ball. They were hard hedging and trapping and blitzing, and now she's individually covered when she gets it off the lane line and can get a head of steam and smooch it off the window for easy paint points.
You may not know because the bun never moves.
Oh, yeah, the bun is.
But notice the number of players draped on Watkins, especially today, to an even more intense degree against the Wolverines. She misses there in the paint. Erie Fenn muscles her way up, and the rebound taken by Camp Schrader, who came to Michigan as a backup point guard playing the 5 this year. Here is Hobbs, too strong from 3.
Going back to the bun. They have a story and a documentary where she said her mom gets her hair properly created.
Area Fenn, count it! Doing work in the paint.
Footwork 101 by Kiki Iriafen. Look at the entry pass right away, reverse pivot, and then bring it back through to the other side. And then she's like, count that. Yes, ma'am. That's grown woman work down in the painted area. Iriafen for a solid deuce.
Basketball on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by DirecTV. Stream Big Ten basketball all season long on DirecTV without a satellite dish. By Dr. Pepper. And by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The USC in its first season in the Big Ten. Just 2 losses all season long to Notre Dame And then to Iowa, number 2 in the AP poll, the highest since 1984. They have the Coach of the Year, 2 players on the defensive team, the Player of the Year, the list goes on. They have made an imprint on this conference, undoubtedly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And picking the steal is Juju Watkins.
Again, on the back of the press. Michigan is having trouble once they break it over the half-court line to reestablish their timing in the quarter court offensively.
Area Fenn, it's been hard to stop in the second half. Already a double-double, 14 in this second half alone, but we'll miss there from the mid-range.
USC has 14 offensive rebounds and 14 second chance points. And that has been a difference maker for sure.
Olsen finds a seam to the rim, open up and takes advantage.
Solid execution, but it was the spacing that created that seam for her to attack free and easy with no help side rotational defense to disrupt it. Almost a steal by Olsen there.
Kennedy Smith underneath. It's an offensive foul. Camp Schrader taking the contact, and the undersized Wolverines are making things difficult right around the rim. Let's check in with Elise with more on Kennedy Smith.
Yeah, you see that she is still hobbled. It's March. There's very few that feel 100% this time of year, especially in a tournament that's as taxing as this. But she went into the locker room. She came back out. She has added a full-length heat sleeve to her left leg, and you can tell she is playing through some pain here, guys.
Olsen drains the mid-range, well defended.
Yeah, Olsen is just so solid, 3-level scorer, staunch defensive player as well, who can switch.
Watkins sprinting to the rim, has that fall off the front of the iron, may have taken a shot to the face. She is slow to get up and grimacing right now. Still has to get back in on the press.
Shaking that off.
10-second violation. Michigan too nonchalant, bringing it up the floor. Coach Barnes-Arico has a quizzical look on her face.
Incredulously trying to understand exactly what happened there. 15 turnovers now for Michigan, and here is the physicality underneath her. Juju Watkins gets touched up there by Olsen. Nothing egregious, but hey man, you're down in the mud. You gotta fight for that 50-50 opportunity, all those rebounds.
Area Fenn inside. Close range with her finish. She's got 25 points, 10 rebounds, and a couple assists as well. She's been picking up the slack with Watkins falling behind with her scoring.
Yeah, it's a 30-30 tie in paint points. Both teams being very intentional with their attack.
Swords goes one way, then another, slices through the defense, and she is fouled. How shifty is Swords with the ball in her hands?
Well, she's so crafty, right? And you think you have her contained, and then she changes speed. Watch right here. You think you have her covered, and then she gets by her primary defender, and then Kiki Iriafen right there just grabbed her arm, looked like. But you got to close the gap.
Talk about her experience in the Paris Olympic Games with Team Canada. Her father, Sean, played basketball for Canada at the Sydney Games. He's now a coach of the NBA G League. Her sister, also a highly talented recruit as well, Savvy Swords.
Yeah, had a chance to see her play over the holidays. She's in the DMV.
Watkins surrounded, finds some space and drops it through.
One thing Juju Watkins is going to do, she's going to stay intentional with her attack. And that one was a methodical, composed finish under duress and chaos in front of the rim.
That gets her over double figures. She's got 13 points, 6 rebounds. As Swords will drive, kick, Camp Schrader misses everything. And it will be Trojan basketball. USC leading by 2.
Here's Juju Watkins, a rip and go. Look at all the confusion, all the defenders, and then she just somehow, some way, like the wave of an ocean, finds an opening and gets that soft touch to drop home.
Plays like that where Coach Gottlieb says, I do not take her for granted. Here's Samuels, gets to the rim and unleashes a roar.
It's the empty out by both players right there. Opens up an alleyway. And one right there in his bench.
She converts the three-point play. Cam Schrader picks up her third, and now USC has its largest lead of the game. Yes, just 5 points. That is how close this contest has been, within a couple possessions all day long.
Coming down to it right now. It's time for the meat and potatoes right here. All the way to the defense. The defensive energy has picked up by USC, especially in the second half. You can see it right there where they need to be.
5 seconds left. That's also left short. Michigan has gone cold. USC 3 of its last 3. Here is Watkins turning on the Jets to the rim. She is tripped up, and free throws coming up.
Well, there was a lot of body that was bumped into Juju Watkins as she was trying to make her way to the rack.
That's going to be the third on Olsen. So Olsen has 3, Hobbs and Cam Schrader. Add Grabaskaya into that list as well. That is 4 key players with 3 personals.
Olsen just rerouted her. There's that dribble handoff. Olsen stayed skinny right there and didn't let her do it, and that's a tough one.
And again, Watkins is tripped up. And that's going to be 4 fouls on Olsen, back to back.
Yeah, well, this is all March Madness. March.
Kiki Iriafen, 25 points, 10 rebounds in our TIAA play with a plan. 17 points in the second half.
Yeah, she has been absolutely mesmerizing with her footwork and her ability to split the help defense that has come to jam her up, but they have not been able to do so. In the 33 minutes that she has been on the floor, she has been most effective with those 25 points on 10 of 19 shooting from the floor. So she's gotten quality volume opportunities to take those shots. They're going through her and to her. But those 10 boards, a lot of those have been on the offensive side, and she's been able to stick those home as well.
She's showing every part of her game, her power, her grace, her post moves, her face-up game, ability to shoot from around 15 feet out. We've seen it all, and it's elite.
Well, she's nimble under duress, and that's exactly what you want to see, especially with her having hopes to go into the WNBA. I mean, her ability to score the ball, but also rebound it and defend. 7 big blocks yesterday for the Trojans inside to go along with 5 assists. So she's multifaceted in terms of her really quality skill set that she brings.
Let's check in with Elise.
Well, guys, in that huddle, Michigan coach Kim Barnes-Arico reminding her team, hey, it's just 5. And now, obviously, with the free throws for Juju, it's up to 7. But we just got to keep getting stops. Just keep getting stops. We can do this. They led by as many as 9 points. Michigan did. Now USC has flipped it for their largest lead of the game, but just trying to instill some confidence in her team.
Yeah, and how USC has been able to do that. They've gotten Juju Watkins off the ball and freed her up.
Off a flare screen. No good there from Swords, but a good look for the All-Big Ten freshman team selection. Howell drains the 3, had been 1 of 8 overall from the field, but the other fearless freshman stepping up for the Trojans.
Nice patience right there. Howell just popped off the top there, and Juju Watkins got it right to her. It's a 10-0 run right now for USC.
Olsen trying to shake Watkins, a hard thing to do, shooting over Watkins, not that time. And it will stay here as we look at her assists of the game, fueled by Gatorade.
17 assists on 26 made shots for the Trojans. Just an effortless setup here, getting it to Howell, and she just buries it from range.
Silas Soares too strong from 3, ball up for grabs, ensnared by Iriafen, her 11th rebound. Up ahead to Howell, count it! The Trojans in the driver's seats in the Big Ten semifinals.
It's only been about 2 minutes of action, but a 12-0 run because the pace of play has changed because of the defensive energy and attention to detail. Connection of the dots in transition. Howe gets that one to go with contact. Big time right there by Hobbs.
Converts on the three-point play, making it a 13-0 run. 6-0 by Howe alone, who had been ice cold throughout this game, bringing that energy and confidence regardless.
Yeah, and only 36 seconds. That sequence only took 36 seconds, and she was able to lift her squad in terms of momentum and fire.
USC outscoring Michigan 20-8 in this quarter. Can't respond there. With the shot from Olsen, off to the races is Watkins into the paint, slicing through, and more free throws coming up to the Big Ten Player of the Year.
It's almost like she has ice skates on. That's how smooth Juju Watkins moves up the floor. It's like everyone else is running and you see their feet hitting the ground. It's almost like her feet don't even touch the floor. That's how seamless she is with the way that she moves.
I know exactly what you mean. She just glides.
Slide down the, I mean, listen, she's special.
Watkins, missing her numbers there in the second half. In the first half of this one, was held to 4 points on 2 of 9 shooting. Did have 5 rebounds, but she was swarmed, she was pressured, she found no breathing room whatsoever, but yet she still was able to push forward. It's still a 14-0 run for the Trojans.
So you forget that Juju Watkins is 6'2". A lot of people have compared her to Maya Moore in terms of her overall skill set.
To play. Swords launching a 3, that's too strong. Gathers up the rebound. Olsen now from long range. And the Wolverines fading. They've gone cold. Corals Daniels in the paint, gets it to drop, and a timeout called by Coach Barnes or Rico. Under 3 minutes remaining, but what a surge by the USC Trojans against this Wolverines squad.
Well, they've dialed it up on the defensive end, right? I think the press has bothered Michigan, who has turned it over on the back end of that press once they've broken it. But USC, they've been able to go through area fin on the interior, and that has made a big difference.
Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app.
How about Juju Watkins? It's been all good Juju, especially in the second half. Oh my goodness, that's my favorite move. The 1-2 step, the hezzy, and then the contact at the rack. She knows she's gonna get it, but she is so durable and strong and smart with her decision-making. Just the craftiest scorer that I've seen as just a sophomore. I mean, she has 7 games this year where she scored over 30.
Up ahead to Howell, Michigan not there. And the Trojans keep their foot on the gas late in this semifinal.
Well, Michigan tried some press right there, but the back end of the press on the weak side is where you have to sprint to and cover up that extra pass.
Swords in the paint. She will be shooting too. Well, thankfully, we have Autumn Johnson here in person to walk me through this, which she did today, because there is a chance USC could end up as the top overall seed. Autumn has them as a 1 seed. That seems pretty strong, but hey, if Texas maybe falls in the SEC tournament to LSU, then we're comparing different quad 1 wins. Texas right now with 13. USC has 12. It feels pretty neck and neck, and this is why these postseason tournaments are so big. Yes, we want to hoist a trophy, but also potential to move up.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why they say March Madness, right? I mean, there's so many levels to it. See how trying to get off that sideline, Michigan trying to hem her in over there.
And that's why Coach Gottlieb is going to call a timeout. Her team leading 76-64, and I'm sure Coach Gottlieb, even new to the Big Ten, knows how feisty and gritty these Wolverines are. How great of a coach is on that opposite sideline with Coach Barnes or Rico that you cannot take any plays off right now.
Oh, that's across the board in the Big Ten. I mean, you're looking at possibly 12 teams going into the upcoming NCAA tournament, and that's night in, night out. I mean, the entire regular season is an NCAA tournament where you're talking about Big Ten women's hoops, but you're looking at this USC team that's tied for their best record through 29 games in school history, 27-2 through those 29 games. And that's the best since 1982-83. So that was back when Cheryl Miller and the McGee twins were on this team and winning back-to-back championships in 83 and 84. Shout out to Cheryl Miller, my most favorite players, people. I know she's watching. She's been in a ton of games. High-fiving Juju Watkins up the court. All that stuff. It's all connected, and that's what makes this game so beautiful.
That's been one of the coolest things to see, is that relationship between Watkins and Miller. Here is Holloway on the fast break. And right there to clean it up on the lay-in is Silas Swords under 2 minutes remaining.
Michigan's not going away, I'll tell you what. They're gonna keep swinging for the fences.
But Watkins will take command, dropping it off to Iria Fenn, but an offensive foul. And for Iria Fenn, that is number 4. Oh, rather, that's on Watkins, her 4th.
Yeah, Hobbs sat right there. She knew Juju was probably either going to try to rise up and score that or send it to the weak side. But nonetheless, she was going to be airborne, and she established herself as a legal guarding defender to get it to go.
Watkins in the passing lane. You see her length, tenacity, but she's bullied right there by Swords, who will take it all the way.
Oh, still plenty of time right here in this pressure. Undoing things for USC the last couple of possessions.
Iria Fenn will kick it out. Howell in rhythm for 3, leaves it short. And an offensive rebound.
Samuels came through the back door to get that one and did not. She disappeared with the basketball under there. One of the most diminutive players on the court comes up with a big rebound.
Watkins bulldozing to the rim, plus the foul.
Juju Watkins is a terror when she gets ahead of steam. Watch right here. You can see those first 2 dribbles gives her the momentum and traction to continue to go. And then she's just so matter of fact afterwards, like, this is what I do. That's good Juju right there.
19 points, 9 rebounds in the second half, 15 points, 5 of 9 from the field. What a recovery and adjustment to find her game in this one. Rips it away from Swords, dialing up the intensity and a little chippiness after that physicality.
She's had a moment right there. Shortness shrug right there saying, listen, human, that was a hard foul. Let's take a look at it right here on the rebound. And then the little extra. Yeah. And Hobbs put her hands up like, I don't want any of that. And Juju said, I don't want any of it either.
Well, that fierce rebound officially gives Watkins a double-double. Sitting at 19 points.
Yeah, you can't miss the free throw after that, right? Should be all right. She's missed a couple today, uncharacteristically.
5 of 8. And makes the second, and officially a 20-point double-double, back-to-back double-doubles. How did she get to the other sideline?
Got wheels.
That put in by Brooke Quarles-Daniels. 34.6 seconds left. Watkins pushing up ahead. She's trying to close this one out, and what an effort by her in the second half to take control. A foul is called, and that's going to be 5 on Olsen. We're going to see these Wolverines in the tournament, and we're going to see players like Olsen in the Big Ten tournament for years to come, and I cannot wait.
No, I love her game. And she loves it too. She's like, this is what you dream about when you're a little kid, is to play in moments like this, and she has been awesome all season.
25th 20-point game for Juju Watkins. That leads the country by 2 over the nation's leading scorer per game, Janiyah Latson of Florida State.
She has 21 games this season where she scored over I mean, for her career, that she scored over 37 games this year, over 30 points for Juju Watkins, who just snarled that rebound down.
Swords can't get it to fall. It was a 1-point game at the half, but USC has outscored Michigan in the fourth quarter 29-18. Used a 14-0 run in the fourth, propelling them to the Big Ten championship game. The hunt for a trophy sweep marches on. The Trojans in the Big Ten championship game.